Hi everyone, my name is Emma Roth and I was a sales intern for Lyman Ritchie this past summer. My presentation's titled "The Course is Sales" because everyone likes to make fun of salespeople for just going golfing all day long. So a little bit about me. I'm a senior in the Concrete Industry Management program. I have 2 minors in Marketing and Engineering Management. I am the CIM Student Ambassador, along with the president and founder of 2 of our clubs on campus, the Women in Concrete and Construction Club and American Concrete Institute. I am certified in 2 ACI certifications. We have Field Testing Technician and Concrete Flatwork Associate, so thank you to our patrons for that. And I've had 2 previous internships, one as a field technician for a testing company in Sioux Falls, and then I was a sales and operation intern for Ace Ready Mix. And because we get the opportunity to go to World of Concrete, I actually got to present at the World of Concrete this past year and got a scholarship out of it. So going into this internship, I moved to a new city this past summer, which means new state regulations, new mix designs, DOT standards. So I kind of had to learn all of that at the beginning of the summer. And along with that comes new quote sheets and new project setups. So kind of learning our pricing, what do we do once we're awarded a job. So I created some cheat sheets. The one on the top is just a small little Excel sheet that I made for myself to reference back to. And the bottom one is what our quality control manager gave me to kind of learn about the mix designs. And I got to spend a little bit of time in Omaha with the sales and estimating team. So I got to bid some jobs, I got to go see aggregate sites, meet with some contractors in the metro area, talk about some different sales strategies. How do we do sales in Omaha versus how do we do it in Sioux City, since they're 2 different size markets. And one of the projects I got to be on was the Omaha streetcar. And it's kind of a little trolley that goes through the old market area. So I got to sit in on that meeting, help Nick, our lead estimator, bid the job. So that was something cool that I maybe wouldn't get to see in Sioux City. I spent some time in Gerhold sales, which is part of the rural division of Lyman Ritchie. I spent 2 days with Carrie and Chuck. We got to drive around to different job sites, meet some of the different contractors. These were some of the cooler jobs we got to go to. So one of them being the chicken barns for Michael's Foods. They're putting about half a dozen or so chicken barns up. And then the Norfolk River project, which is pretty much downtown Norfolk. It's a little canoe where you can canoe, kayak, paddleboard. Pretty cool thing to see. And then the Columbus Community College. And since I was based out of Sioux City, this is just a couple of the paving jobs that I got to be a part of. And as you can see here, we do have 2 different paving mix. So the difference in them is the different water reducers and then the different spec for slump. So your handwork is obviously going to be 4, and then your paving is 2. And then something that I learned was that there's different sand depending on which plant it comes out of. So if it comes out of the Sioux City plant in Iowa, it's going to be your 4110. And then if it comes out of the South Sioux plant, which is in Nebraska, it'll be 47B. So even though it's the same area, it's 2 different sands with 2 different state regulations. And something I'd never seen before in ready mix was the opportunity for customers to make their own mixes. So these are just 2 of our contractors that have a footing and a wall mix. That's what they mainly specialize in. The difference in them is water reducers, but just kind of getting to learn each customer, what mix do they use, what's needed for their job, and how do they kind of work with it. So that was something cool that I thought was new to me. This was my favorite project of the whole summer. I had never gotten to be on a bridge deck before. I've done hospitals, roads, schools, and everything in between, but never a bridge deck. So being start to finish for the project was something fun. I went to the pre-construction meeting, met with the engineers, the DOTs. We kind of fine-tuned some details. Okay, when are the trucks gonna arrive? Where are they gonna park? Where are they gonna wash out? Because it was a tight area on the bridge with traffic still using that bridge. So it was 5 a.m. on site, came out of our South Sioux City plant, so it was about a 25-30 minute drive for our drivers, and it was close to 340 yards. So they used an HPCO, which is their overlay mix, and they use limestone. So in Sioux City, we don't use limestone, we use quartzite. So we had to have a special shipment of limestone in just for this job. And then the Gordon Drive Viaduct, this is one of our smaller jobs who this contractor orders a small amount of yardage, but they have a huge impact on what they do. So this bridge in Sioux City is under emergency repair just because it's been around for hundreds of years pretty much. And so the way they do it, the crew is very efficient. They load up concrete into these Home Depot 5-gallon buckets, load them up to the lift them up, and then they hand them to each other. And they pour them into the forms, and then they throw the buckets down. So it's one of the most efficient crews I'd ever seen. I didn't know you could place concrete that way, but it's possible with the right crew. And it was a state job, so I got to sit with QC and learn how to write some state tickets. And they also used an overlay mix, but they used a 1/2-inch limestone, so it's just a different spec. And then the Sioux City Airport, we built the new hangars for the airport. This was a couple of days projects with 600 to 700 yard pours per day. And something I had learned was that there's 2 different airport mixes. So the P501 is a tarmac mix, and that's what you use if something touches the tarmac or if it is the tarmac. And it uses a different type of blended cement. So not 1L, not 1PF, a different type. Whereas they used the paving mix, but as you can see, they used a 1PF cement with no ash. And then I had the opportunity to go to the Louisville Cement Tour. This is my second time being to this plant, and a couple of things I had learned this time around was that it's been in service for 142 plus years. And I knew that they had a lot of locations throughout the country, but I didn't know that they had 12. So that was something cool to learn, that they're kind of scattered throughout the northern region. And then they are a 24-hour service plant with a couple of days because of maintenance and everything. And my favorite part that I got to do this time around was look inside the kiln while it was running. I didn't take a picture. I did not want my phone to melt. And so like Peter had mentioned before, we got a lot of rain and a lot of weather this past summer. So half of Sioux City flooded, which meant our yards were down, business was slow, grades were wet. As you can see, this is some of the pictures from that time, but I kind of took this as the opportunity to meet with contractors, learn the business side of things, kind of work on the new mix designs, work with our QC a little bit. Hey, what's the future look like? What are we doing? And just do some office work that I wouldn't get to do if I was out on the job the whole time. And something that was new for me, especially working in Sioux Falls previously, my jobs were usually in the city. So this summer, trying to find a project in the middle of a cornfield, that was new and a little challenging, but we managed. And how CIM has benefited me. So understanding of mix designs and material science, that's a huge part when it comes to sales, especially with building customer relationships. What mix do you use? What materials do you want? So getting to learn that through labs, through different classes, that's been very beneficial for my career. And just the hands-on experience. So that is going to the labs, going to the field trips, having these internships, and just learning it hands-on instead of behind a desk. And then sales and marketing fundamentals. So for me, it's very important to know, okay, what's our economy right now? What are the market trends? Where's the industry heading? So things like that, so I can kind of talk to customers and see where are they at versus where we are at. And then professional connections. So example A, our patrons meeting that we have every year, getting to meet the owners of different businesses, some of our patrons, what do you do as a job, are you hiring, just things like that that we wouldn't get to do in any other major has been one of the very crucial and beneficial things for my career. And then enhanced communication and networking. So again, that goes back to professional connections and getting to go to World of Concrete, getting to go to ConAg, meeting people from New York, California, Texas, places that we wouldn't get to see or people that we wouldn't get to meet if we just stayed in Brookings, South Dakota. And then overall, just a well-rounded curriculum. I don't think I could have asked for a better major with a different variety of opportunities. and just industry insights. You guys coming to be guest lecturers or bringing us to your office or your job sites. It just really gives us a well-rounded of what this industry is. So I want to say thank you to Lyman and Richie for letting me work with you guys this past summer. Thank you for our patrons for all the opportunities and support you give us. And thank you for Tim for taking on this job and teaching us. So thank you, everyone.